Recently, Lenovo released the Yoga Book, what they perceive as future computing. But is it ready for prime time? Hi, my name's Andrew from AMDtech, and this is our review of the Lenovo Yoga Book. Let's see if this futuristic device has what it takes to compete today. Let's find out. Lenovo is touting the Yoga Book as the future of all computing. Well, I'm not sure if they're correct in that assessment, but I've been using the Yoga Book for about a week now. Let's find out if they're onto something. What you get under the hood is the Intel Atom X5 Z8550 processor, 4 GB of RAM, 64 gigs of onboard storage. I'm using the Android version, which runs Android Marshmallow 6.0.1, and it costs $499. For $50 more, there is a Windows 10 version. The Yoga Book weighs 1.52 pounds, is only 0.38 inches thick, extremely thin and light, and to me, a very stunning design. I can't get over just how thin and light this device is. I ordered my unit directly from Lenovo, and it only took about 3 days for them to ship it to me. Pretty good job, Lenovo. Opening the box, you're greeted by some very nice packaging, really good job in terms of presentation. I like the fact that it has some branding on the front in terms of what it can do in terms of productivity. Good job, Lenovo, in that department. Opening the box, you're greeted by the Yoga Book itself, along with its charger. Now, unfortunately, it uses micro USB to charge this device, not the more recent and more modern USB Type-C. And for a device that they're touting as being futuristic, this certainly is a step back. Also in the box is something that's pretty interesting. It's a writing pad. We'll talk more about that in the input section of this video. Moving along, you'll also find some documentation in the box along with an ejector tool so you can access your microSD card slot, and you get a pen. Now, the pen is a very interesting pen. We'll talk more about that later in this video. Suffice it to say that it uses Wacom technology and it has 2048 levels of pressure sensitivity, but it has a few other tricks up its sleeve. And it has some pen tips in the box. We'll talk more about that later again in the pen section. Now, the Yoga Book itself, again, like I said, very thin and light, really stunning design, very elegant looking, and of course it has Lenovo's famed watch band hinge that you found in other devices in the Yoga line. Pretty nice look. I think it's a pretty sturdy design, and it did work well. Opening it up, you're greeted by a diagram which tells you exactly the input modes and how you're able to use this device. Really, overall, good look. One of its best features is its display. It's a 10.1-inch Full HD panel, and it has a resolution of 1920 by 1200. It gets very bright at 400 nits, and it has very vivid colors. Very sharp screen indeed. And for those keeping score, that's 224 pixels per inch. It's a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, and the touchscreen was very responsive. Overall, worked very well. As far as port selection is concerned, here's what you get. You get your power button on one side, one of your 2 side-firing speakers, we'll talk more about that later in the video, and a volume rocker up and down, along with a 3.5mm headphone jack. Moving along to the other side of the device, you're going to find your micro USB port. That's where you'll charge your device. Unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't have a Type-C port. And your micro SD card slot for storage expansion. And if you want to connect to a monitor or TV, here's your micro HDMI port. And here's your other side-firing speaker. And perhaps the most talked about feature of this device is its keyboard, well, or lack thereof. What it has instead of a physical keyboard is a Halo keyboard, which uses haptic feedback and is touch sensitive. Now, it took me a while to get used to typing on this keyboard, and I was only able to do about 24 words per minute, well below my normal average on a regular keyboard. But after a while, it did get better, and I started to type with more accuracy, but overall, I do prefer a regular physical keyboard. Now, Lenovo includes a pen in the box, which is always a nice touch. It's called the Real Pen Stylus, and it uses something called the Create Pad, a pad of paper that allows you to use a regular pen and write and take notes, which will be transcribed simultaneously onto this display, as you see here. Worked very nice, and I was actually surprised at just how well it worked. Now, it also, like I said, uses the AnyPen technology, and you can use any kind of stylus or any kind of object to write, including your finger. Pressing the button activates the pen mode, and it basically turns the yoga book into a Wacom tablet. I'm even able to use my old Wacom pen, the cross-enabled, which has been around for many years, and it worked perfectly. When you're not using the Lenovo-specific note-taking apps, you can use this as an input device. And here you can see this is where I can enter text into that little field and it shows up on the screen. I really was quite impressed with how well the pen input worked on this device, as well as all the note-taking features and versatility that this device offers. Good job, Lenovo, on that implementation. This being a yoga device, you have the different modes, as you see here, what we call the tent mode, which is pretty good for watching movies or just wanting to consume media. This is what I call media mode, great for recipes in the kitchen as well as consuming media as well. And of course, tablet mode, which we're more familiar with, and it's great for reading ebooks as well as consuming media and taking notes. Now, in terms of sound, it uses Dolby Atmos technology and has 2 side-firing speakers. Let's take a look and a listen at one of our latest videos to see how the sound is on this device. About a month ago, I reviewed the Honor 8 by Huawei, a $400 flagship level device that Huawei released here in the United States, and I thought it was very good. There were very few compromises, but a lot of you viewers... I was pleasantly surprised that the volume was pretty loud and the sound was overall pretty good, especially with this thin and light device. Now, as far as cameras are concerned, you get an 8 megapixel camera located on the upper portion of the keyboard. When flipped over into tablet mode, you then get a rear-facing camera. And for a 2-in-1, it was actually pretty good. As you can see here, the colors weren't bad, it got pretty good clarity and overall pretty good photos. There is a 2 megapixel 1080p camera located on the top portion of the display, and it was okay. It was good for Skype and for video conferencing and for doing selfies. Video worked well from the front-facing camera, and as you can see here, the clarity was pretty good. Overall, I was impressed with both cameras on the keyboard and the one on the display itself. There are 2 versions of this device, one a Windows 10 version and the one you see here, which is the Android Marshmallow version. It runs Android 6.0.1 and it runs pretty well. And like I said earlier, it has that AnyPen technology, which allows you to use pretty much any kind of device to write on this display. Now, as far as the Halo keyboard, here's where you'll find your adjustments as far as brightness of the active brightness level as well as the inactive brightness level. And as far as the haptic feedback, as far as whether you want it strong or whether you want it weak. Really a lot of control over this haptic keyboard. Now, an area I was a little bit disappointed in was in its performance. On the Geekbench 4 test, it did a 2899 on the multi-core score, a very mediocre score indeed. As far as the graphics processor, it only did a 4336. Again, very mid-level score. Now, for all your gamers out there, the Antutu benchmark score was 87,907, and on the Ice Storm Extreme test, it only did 8,667. This is not meant for gaming. This is not meant for higher performance. This is better for note-taking and for media consumption. And as you can see from the Octane 2.0 score, it did an 8,371. Not really upper level performance. Lenovo claims you're going to get about 15 hours of battery life on this device. I didn't come anywhere near that, but I was able to get 9 hours and 31 minutes under my rundown test. And that's okay, that's not bad. The good news is this is an all-day device. So is this the future of computing as Lenovo has been touting regarding this device? Not yet, but it is a good first step and it is a very good device for those who want drawing and note-taking abilities with a vibrant full HD display. I like its stunning design, I like its decent battery life, and I love its clever CreatePad. But there are some things I'm not crazy about on this device. First, its Halo keyboard takes a lot of getting used to, and it doesn't replace a physical keyboard in terms of long-term typing. It is good for a quick email here and there or jot a note or two down, but not for any long-term touch typing experience. I was disappointed Lenovo didn't use a USB Type-C to charge this device and rather went with a dated micro USB port. And its performance was hindered by its Atom processor. While I appreciate the fact they include all those accessories, the pen, the writing pad, there is no place to store them. But if you're someone who takes a lot of notes or likes to draw on a tablet and wants a thin and light device with a stunning design, this may be your ticket. That's why I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. So what do you think about the Yoga Book from Lenovo? Do you think it's ready for prime time? Do you think it's ready to be a viable computing option today? I think it is, but I think it's more geared towards someone who's more of a note taker, a digital artist who wants some quick notes to jot down a sketch or some quick notes to go, that they don't want to carry some heavy tablet device, something that's thin and light that will be able to get the work done. Now, touch typists and people who need to write for extended periods of time, I don't think this device is for you, at least not yet. I think the Halo keyboard has room to improve, and I think over time that may just happen. But right now, I think this is geared towards a very specific segment of the audience. But I'm curious to know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I am curious to know if this is something you've either already picked up, considering getting, and if you have it, tell me how it's been working out for you. Coming soon to AMDtech is a new review all the way from China, the Yepo 737. No, it's not a plane, it's a 13-inch laptop. Thin and light, has a MacBook S design, and I'm very curious to see what $200 can get you as far as design and as well as performance. Let's stay tuned for the unboxing and review coming very soon. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. Hey, I'll try to make it happen. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMDtech. See ya.